Do 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 do. Howdy. God's little devotional book. I sing and I read, and you're welcome to proceed in following along. Leave the glasses. Readers. Many a good man has failed because he had his wishbone where his backbone should have been. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Joshua 1:9. At one point during his youth, baseball great Jackie Robinson began to run with neighborhood gang. In later years, he recalled that while he had wished for a better life as a boy and a teen, he had no understanding that a gang was not the way to achieve it. An older friend finally came to Jackie and made him realize how much he was hurting his hard-working mother, as well as how much he was limiting himself. Robinson said, "He told me that it didn't take guts to follow the crowd, that courage and intelligence lay in being willing to be different." Jackie left the gang and traded his wishbone for backbone. He began to work on developing his own physical potential and within a few short years became a sensational athlete. Starring in football, basketball, baseball, and track at UCLA, he was the first person to win athletic awards in all four sports at the university. He went on to play pro football while with the Los Angeles Bulldogs before being drafted in World War II. After the war, he signed with Brooklyn Dodgers. Not only did Jackie Robinson become the first black baseball player in the major leagues, but he was voted Rookie of the Year. Backbone accomplishes more than wishbone. At the name of Jesus, where we get a new name for Jesus every day. Today being March the 4th, Jesus is the door. He's the one who opens and no one will shut, and who shuts and no one opens. Revelation 3:7. Jesus is the means of access to things of God. He is our entrance, our gate. Yet if we do not choose to go through him, he becomes a barrier in our way. Jesus says, even when you come to doors to your dreams which seem slammed shut, do not despair. I do not cut anything off from you without doing so to enable something much fuller and richer to be produced in and through you. You know my voice. I will faithfully lead you into the places best designed for your growth. I am the door. If anyone enters through me, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. John 10:9. At the name of Jesus. Oh, I already read that one. Springs in the Valley. By Mrs. Kalman. For March. God shall hear. Psalm 55:19. I was standing at the bank counter in Liverpool, waiting for a clerk. Waiting for a clerk to come at the bank. I picked up a pen and began to print on the blotter in large letters 2 words which had gripped me like a vice. Pray through. I kept talking to a friend and printing until I had the desk blotter filled from top to bottom with a column. I transacted my business and went away. The next day my friend came to see me and said he had a striking story to tell. A businessman came into the bank soon after we had gone. We had grown discouraged with business troubles. He started to transact some business with the same clerk. Over that blotter, when his eye caught the long column of pray through, he asked who wrote those words, and when he was told, exclaimed, "That is the very message I needed. I will pray through. I've tried in my own strength to worry through and have merrily mentioned my troubles to God. Now I'm going to pray the situation through until I get light." Personal testimony of Charles M. Alexander. It's probably somebody we should know. Don't stop praying, but have more trust. Don't stop praying, for pray we must. Faith will banish a moment of care. Don't stop praying. God answers prayer. CMA. All I have seen teaches me to trust the Creator for what I have not seen. That book tried to close before I got the bookmark in there. It's a rush job today, huh? Doesn't have to be. You know, it might be the first song that's a song that I actually ever played. Well, I played other songs, but that actually, I think that's it. There's more than that, though, and maybe the song is. That might be the whole song. I was trying to think in my brain if it was. Just a closer walk with me. Grant it, Jesus, if you please. Sure it is, yeah. Sounds like it. Wait, thank you. I am reading the Bible chronologically, daily, and grant a closer walk with me, Jesus, if you please. And here it is. Some commentary by author LaGard Smith, who has rearranged it chronologically. Dietary regulations may reflect both health and religious concerns. Animals, fish, birds, insects, and creatures of the ground are divided into categories of clean and unclean, indicating whether or not it's acceptable for the Israelites to eat them. A creature may be unclean because it is unsanitary contact that which is putrefied, because it is associated with objectionable living habits, because it is unhealthful for human consumption, or perhaps because it is a creature typically used in a pagan worship. I've forgotten. There was 2 words on the page that I didn't read because they would have been a break in the middle of the sentence. The eating of blood is particularly prohibited because blood represents all life and because it is used to seek atonement for sin. Leviticus 11:46. These are the regulations. Excuse me. These are the regulations concerning animals, birds, every living thing that moves in the water, and every creature that moves about on the ground. You must distinguish between the unclean and the clean, between living creatures that may be eaten and those that may not be eaten. Do not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. There are some that only chew the cud or only have a split hoof, but you must not eat them. The camel, though it chews the cud, does not have a split hoof. It is ceremonially unclean for you. The coney, note says, the hyrax or rock badger, though it chews its cud, does not have a split hoof. It is unclean for you. The rabbit, though it chews the cud, does not have a split hoof. It is unclean for you. And the pig, though it has a split hoof, completely divided, does not chew the cud. It is unclean for you. You must not eat their meat or touch their carcasses. They are unclean for you. Of all creatures living in the water of the seas and the streams, you may eat any that have fins and scales. But all creatures in the seas and streams that do not have fins and scales, whether among all the swarming things or among all the other living creatures in the water, you are to detest. Since you are to detest them, you must not eat their meat, and you must detest their carcasses. Anything living in the water that does not have fins and scales is to be detestable to you. These are the birds you are to detest and not eat, because they are detestable: the eagle, the vulture, the black vulture, the red kite, any kind of black kite, any kind of raven, the horned owl, the screech owl, the gull, any kind of hawk, the little owl, the cormorant, the great owl, the white owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the stork, any kind of heron, the hoopoe, and the bat. All flying insects that walk on all fours are to be detestable to you. There are, however, some winged creatures that walk on all fours that you may eat, those that have jointed legs for hopping on the ground. Of these you may eat any kind of locust, katydid, cricket, or grasshopper, but all other winged creatures that have 4 legs you are to detest. Every creature that moves about on the ground is detestable. It is not to be eaten. You are not to eat any creature that moves about the ground, whether it moves on its belly or walks on all fours or on many feet. It is detestable. Do not defile yourselves by any of these creatures. Do not make yourselves unclean by means of them, or be made unclean by them. I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves, and be holy, because I am holy. Do not make yourselves unclean by any creature that moves about on the ground. I am the Lord, who brought you up out of Egypt to be your God. Therefore be holy, because I am holy. You'll make yourselves unclean by these. Whoever touches their carcasses will be unclean till evening. Whoever picks up one of their carcasses must wash his clothes, and he will be unclean till evening. Every animal that has split hoof not completely divided, or that does not chew the cud, is unclean for you. Whoever touches the carcass of any of them will be unclean. Of all the animals that walk on all fours, those that walk on their paws are unclean for you. However, whoever touches their carcasses will be unclean till evening. Anyone who picks up their carcasses must wash his clothes, and he will be unclean till evening. They are unclean for you. I want to look that up. What's this unclean till evening? Does it mean just till it's dark, or what? And why is it? Let's see. So it's unclean till evening in biblical Leviticus and Numbers means a person remains in a state of temporary ceremonial impurity from the time they touch something unclean until sunset, because the Hebrew day begins at sundown. So sunset marks the end of the day of contamination and the start of a new clean day. It's ritual, not necessarily physical impurity. it means lasting until dusk or sunset, when the day officially turns to the next. Highlights separation between God, the sacred, and the profane. Acts as contaminant method of potential disease. Two-step process: wash and bathing immediately, and then waiting until the end of the day.
Did you know Georgia has the tallest...
Isn't that interesting? Okay, then. Of the animals that move about on the ground, these are unclean for you. The weasel, the rat, any kind of great lizard, gecko, monitor lizard, the wall lizard, the skink, and the chameleon. Of all those that move along the ground, these are unclean for you. Whoever touches them when they are dead will be unclean till evening. When one of them dies and falls on something, that article, whatever its use, will be unclean, whether it's made of wood, cloth, hide, or sackcloth. Put it in water. It will be unclean till evening, and then it will be clean. If one of them falls into a clay pot, everything in it will be unclean, and you must break the pot. Any food that could be eaten but has water on it from such a pot is unclean. Any liquid that could be drunk from it is unclean. Anything that one of their carcasses falls on becomes unclean. An oven or cooking pot must be broken up. They are unclean, and you are to regard them as unclean. A spring, however, a cistern for collecting water remains clean, but anyone who touches one of these carcasses is unclean. If a carcass falls on any seeds that are to be planted, they remain clean. But if water has been put on the seed and a carcass falls in on it, it is unclean. You must therefore make a distinction between clean and unclean animals, and between unclean and clean birds. Do not defile yourselves by any animal or bird or anything that moves along the ground. Those which I have set apart as unclean for you, you are to be holy to me. Because I, the Lord, am holy, and I have set you apart from the nations to be my own. If an animal that you are allowed to eat dies, anyone who touches the carcass will be unclean till evening. Anyone who eats some of the carcass must wash his clothes, and he will be unclean till evening. Anyone who picks up the carcass must wash his clothes, and he will be unclean till evening. Do not eat anything you find already dead. You may give it to an alien living in any of your towns, and he may eat it. Or you may sell it to a foreigner, but you are a people holy to the Lord your God. Well, I guess it answers to some people who say it's about disease or something. It's about the relationship with the Lord, not about disease there, because they wouldn't tell you go ahead and give that disease thing to somebody else, right? Anyone, whether native born or alien, who eats anything found dead or torn by wild animals must wash his clothes and bathe with water. He will be ceremonial and clean till evening. Then he will be clean. But if he does not wash his clothes and bathe himself, something's wrong with me. He will be held responsible. You are to be my holy people. So do not eat the meat of an animal torn by wild beasts. Throw it to the dogs. Any Israelite or any alien living among them who eats any blood, I will set my face against that person who eats blood, and will cut him off from his people. For the life of the creature is in the blood, and I have given it to you to make atonement for yourselves on the altar. It is the blood that makes atonement for one's life. Therefore I say to the Israelites, none of you may eat the blood, nor may an alien living among you eat the blood. Any Israelite or any alien living among you who hunts any animal or bird that may be eaten must drain out the blood and cover it with earth, because the life of every creature is in its blood. That is why I have said to the Israelites, you must not eat the blood of any creature, because the life of every creature is its blood. Anyone who eats it must be cut off. The Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, do not eat any of the fat of cattle, sheep, or goats. The fat of an animal found dead or torn by wild animals may be used for any other purpose, but you must not eat it. Anyone who eats the fat of an animal from which an offering by fire may be made to the Lord must be cut off from his people. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. That is about the shortest I can remember one of these days being. Except I think leap year or something didn't have a day. Is that February? Seems like one of the years I was reading this, we had a day off. So maybe we had a leap year recently or something. I don't remember. Time passes. My brain isn't functioning very well today. But how long did we talk? 20 whole minutes? Only 20 minutes? Why is it so short?